Hi everyone, coming back with another Leetcode problem. Today's problem is problem 252, meeting rooms. This is a Leetcode premium problem. And this is also one of the problems within the blind 75 list. So from the problem description, you can see that we are given an array of meeting times. Meeting time intervals. So this is the interval problem, where each interval has two values, start value and end value. So we are given, so this is one meeting. So we're given several meetings and we have to determine if a person could attend all the meetings. Okay, so say for the first example, you see here, a meeting starts at minute 0, right? So let's draw a timeline here. So minute 0, and then this is minute 30, right? And the second meeting starts at minute 5 and ends at minute 10. Let's make 30 a little bit longer. And then there is the third meeting, which starts at minute 15 and ends at minute 20. Obviously, if some person wants to attend all 3 meetings, he cannot, right? Because you see that these 2 meetings actually intersect. So if he is attending this meeting, then he cannot attend this or this, right? So he cannot do all 3. For the second example, you see that first meeting starts at minute 7 and ends at minute 10. The other meeting starts at minute 2 and ends in minute 4. So if someone attends this meeting first and then goes to this meeting, he can attend both, right? So the output is going to be true. Okay, so this is, I would suggest everyone to think a little bit about it and then come back. Okay, so I hope you have thought about it, and I also hope many of you have figured out how to do this. So obviously, if we have like multiple meetings, right? If we have multiple meetings, so we can actually sort the meetings, right? We can sort the meetings based on their, say, start time. Anyway, we sort the meetings. If I want to attend all the meetings, the meeting after being sorted on a timeline. So this is suppose the timeline. The meetings should be apart from each other, right? So they cannot be on top of each other. So I can attend all these meetings, right? You can see that. But if something like this happens, if one of the meetings actually coincide with another meeting, then I cannot attend, right? So the simple idea here is I sort the meeting, say, based on their start time, right? And then they should look like this. So that means if I sort the meetings based on their start time, so this is say start time 1, this is start time 2, this is start time 3, this is start time 4, right? This is end time 1, end time 2, end time 3, end time 4. Okay, so whenever I'm checking this start time can never be smaller than another end time, right? So this has to be greater than. So if it was a smaller than the other end time, say if it was like this, right? In that case, it would have coincided with the previous meeting. So this is the case. So start time for any meeting, like start time for meeting, say I, after sorting the meetings based on the start time, it must be greater than equals to the end time for the meeting of I minus 1, end time of the previous meeting, right? So every start time has to be like start time has to be before the previous end time. Sorry, after the previous end time, right? So one meeting stops, then I start another one. That meeting stops and then I start the other one. This one stops and then I start the other one. Okay, so before I solve this problem, probably I would ask the interviewer a few questions like, or I can just check like if we have just one meeting, in that case, obviously I can attend it, right? So we can check if intervals dot length is less than equals to 0, or less than equals to 1, then I return true. Otherwise, what I'm going to do is I'm going to sort the meetings based on their start time. So if there are like 2 meetings, we know each of the meeting is actually an interval. So it will have, each meeting will have 2 values, right? The start values and the end values. And I am sorting based on the start values. So I'm putting that thing in the as a parameter, right? That way, these intervals arrays is going to be sorted based on the start time. Next, what I have to do is I have to start from the second element, right? The second element until the last element. And I have to check if the start time of the current meeting. So if the start time is like intervals I, the current meeting is intervals I, and the start time is the first element of that meeting is less than the end time of the previous meeting. The previous meeting is I minus 1th meeting, right? And the end time is denoted by the second element. If that is the case, then I return false. I keep on checking each meeting against the previous meeting. If each meeting is starting after the ending of the previous meeting, then none of them are going to intersect and the person can attend all the meetings. So if this is never executed, that means all the meetings are set apart and they don't intersect with each other. In that case, we return true. Okay, so let's try to run this. Yeah, so this got accepted. So time complexity of the algorithm, you see this is, if we have n meetings, we have done the sorting here. So it is going to be order of n log n here. And then this is, I'm running this for loop order of n times, right? So together, like these two together, so overall time complexity of this algorithm is going to be order of n log n. Okay, so that's the overall time complexity of this algorithm. Thanks for watching. We will come back with another problem next time.